Hi guys, I wanted to show you really quick how we're using the digital template this month from Sandlot, and it's a really fun template. You could simply print it out and use it as a guideline, or you could use it digitally. And if you have a lot of questions about how to use digital templates, I would highly suggest taking the Basics digital class at Studio Calico or the Beyond Basics class, because we answer a lot of questions in there. But just to show you, for example, I've included a template here with clipping masks, and then I provided some overlays, which you could use as overlays or even cut files if you wanted. And I turned this photo upside down, and I want to make sure it's the right size. So that's about the right size. And then I would just drag it over here and clip it onto the mask, the mask that I'm wanting it to be on top of. So the orange one. And then I would right click, create clipping mask, and then go ahead and merge that down. So I'm going to create two of these and then print them, and then I'll show you what to do from there.
Quickly just printed this out of my home printer. I have an HP Envy, and it prints really nicely. I really love it. I like also having the ability to have a really matte finish, which is kind of hard to find sometimes. So I just cut the edges off, and I wanted to just show you I'm going to cut it down the center here. You want to be careful. I didn't leave too much of a margin just so I could fit everything on one page. So you're just going to cut it like this into two long strips. Okay. And then you're going to, what I like about this template is that all of us have a lot of 3x4 cards on hand. So let me just grab one from my stash really quick. I like that these fit really nicely in here, so you can easily incorporate these into this album. So what you're going to do is you're just going to, you could also, another way of doing this is to print it front and back. But because I'm only doing a lot of photos on here, I like to just do two sides so it gets it kind of thick. So you're going to just use the lines as your guiding spots for where to fold. And you'll kind of get a hang of which way you want it to go. You can kind of have it start different ways. I'm going to do it this way. Okay. And then the flap here, some of these you're going to cut off, but I always just leave them all on to begin with. So as you're assembling, you can kind of decide where you're going to cut off and when. So you're just going to want to fold all these. If you're really good at printing front and back and your printer lines them all up nicely, then feel free to do that. I think it'd be really cute and like a fun, easy way to put together a template or a mini album really quick. My printer doesn't always line them up perfectly on each side, so sometimes they'll get a little off, and I just don't want to take that chance. So fold these however is easiest for you. I like to just fold them so I can see where I need the flap to go to get that crease going. And then as I'm assembling, I can go back and fold them the other way. My thought with this is that this would be towards the beginning. So I could either use this, if you're opening this up, like this would kind of be the opening page. So as I'm putting it together, I kind of want to think of that. So this one, this is kind of what I mean by you might have to refold after you get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this here and then refold the rest as needed. So this is why I personally don't like to clip anything to these end ones. Like for instance, I could have clipped something here, a photo or journaling card, but this one is what I'm going to use to kind of hold it all together. So you could get creative and use less of a flap, but I like to just have a big old flap there, knowing that I'm going to cover it with a journaling card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Just line it up. So this would be my cover. And I'm just going to fold the rest accordion style like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the back and kind of decide what I want to line up with where in the album. So I think I'll line it up like this. And as you can see, I'll need to cut off these two ends. So before I do that, I am going to simply interlock these two layers. So this comes together super quick once you kind of decide the layout of your album. Once I have this all together, all I'm going to do is trim off these two flaps at the end. And now I have the base of my album. So I'm going to go ahead and start creating with this. What I like about doing it this way as opposed to printing on both sides is I'm going to go ahead and work with each layer individually. So for instance, for sewing, if I wanted to sew something on here, it's not going to poke through on the other side. So as I'm building each of these layers, I'll got started on my book. I just took different embellishments and ephemera from our trip and included them in here. What's nice about this album is it's super quick, and people like my husband who like just to have pictures and some ephemera, things like that would love this. So here I just added a little pocket. This is from Studio Calico a while ago from the Classic Calico, I believe it was called, collection. I love these. They're so stinking cute. And this is why, one of the reasons I liked having the 3x4 size is you have a lot of embellishments already in that size. I used a lot of labels and things that I just collected from the trip. Here I took some washi tape and kind of made a little page with, this is one of the overlays that's included with the template. And I just cut it out with my Cameo and then tucked it under this picture and this here. Kind of peel this up a little bit so you can see. There, and so that way you can still flap it and turn it, and since it's see-through, I kind of thought it was fun with Victoria in the background. And then I just added more labels and things like that. So what you're wanting to see here is how this all is going to kind of come together. So what I do is just lay one of these into another. Now what I forgot to tell you earlier is that you sometimes, the way your album will lay, you might want to cut off one of the end pieces so that your cover can go on top. So before the Ketchikan picture, this one here, was attached here. I just cut that off and added it here so that my cover was. So I'm just simply putting them into each other like this. And then you fold them all up and there's your book. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to sew some of these. So my thought was that I could sew some where, for example, if I just sewed down here, right here, and up here, I could even use the top as like a little pocket to stick notes in and things. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm also going to go ahead and in here, I like to do the cover last, and I like to make it just slightly larger than the album to cover up any like overhang. So I've assembled my album. And I just want to show you kind of where I sewed them together. So I sewed a pocket here by just sewing along 3 sides, and another pocket here by sewing along 3 sides. I also wanted to show you kind of how I cover up my boo-boos. I'm not a perfectionist, so I put together kind of quickly. And so I had like a little overhang here, and I just put a 3x4 card underneath to kind of, it just acts as a border. That may bother some people, so you might want to take more time lining things up. And then on this side, this didn't line up perfectly either, so I just put a little washi tape under it. So in my pockets, I have just added some little tags and used the back for journaling. And then on this one, the same thing. I just used them for journaling. Just little love notes to my husband. And then all put together, I just like how the tags kind of overlap each other. And then I just put like a little tab here to add a little punch of color and some ribbon at the top. And it all came together really easily and fun, and I think my husband will really love it. He is a big softie. He loves things like this. He made me a scrapbook for our anniversary as well, but it was like huge and documented our whole courtship together. So I'm gonna give this to him tonight, and I hope you guys have fun using the templates, and I can't wait to see what you create. You always amaze me with the wonderful things you guys, like I put out a product and then you guys take it 1,000 times further than I could even imagine. So I can't wait to see it. Talk to you soon. Bye.